Hello and welcome to Total Television. We're at the Mobile World Congress where I'm talking to Steve Gleave of Metaswitch. Steve, you look very sporting. You're here at the home of world soccer. Tell us why the football theme.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So we've been telling people for a while now that the switch is on in the telecoms industry, and there are some major changes that are happening. And what we did for this show was we appended a question that said the switch is on, are you keeping up? And what we meant by that, well, are you keeping up with the demands of customers? Are you keeping up with the new type of competition? Are you keeping up with standards that can impact your business? And are you keeping up with the traffic that is now going through your network? Outside of North America, the fine art of football freestyle or ball juggling is of course known as keepy uppy. So we go from the switches on to are you keeping up to keepy uppy. We've had a 3 times Guinness World Record holder outside our booth going around the show. And it's worked really well, and out of that we've come up with an FC Meta icon logo, starting a corporate soccer team, yada yada. So that's what it's all about.
What are some of the main business activities that you've got going on this week?
Well, we've had a lot of, I think with any show, you have to plan for the success. So certainly this week we basically had 3 meeting rooms here booked out for the entire duration of the show. We're talking to a lot of mobile operators about a significant number of developments at Metaswitch in the last 12 months. If you saw us here this time last year, it was our first time at the show. I think we had quite an aspirational message about being upwardly mobile and saying that the way we've helped 500 or 600 carrier wireline customers could also be applied to wireless. In those 12 months, we've acquired a company that makes RCS technology. We've launched a service to hundreds of thousands of subscribers ourselves, and at the show this year we've taken a lot of that technology and are now making it available to mobile operators.
Yes, because operators need support at the moment. They're under tremendous pressure. We've seen new applications here all the time. There's more and more demand, but the network and the network operators need support too.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. I think if you look at the industry right now, the rock stars of the industry, typically viewed as being the handset vendors, obviously putting more and more capabilities in those handsets, which is actually bypassing more and more of the service providers' revenue. Equally, you're starting to see the OTT applications not only become the apps that are getting most of the customer mindshare, but again are also offering features and capabilities that historically service providers have offered. Those service providers in the mobile world, to my mind, are largely getting marginalized by their logo just appearing in the top left-hand side of that digital real estate on a smartphone. And if anything, they're just being associated with signal strength. And as service providers, I think what they're trying to achieve is to get much more what's called in-app time, customer mindshare, and build a completely cohesive and immersive communications experience around the subscriber, and to start putting their brand back front and center.
So you say this is your second year and Metaswitch is developing very, very fast. For the benefit of our viewers, give us a quicker update on where you are at the moment.
Yeah, sure. So as a company, we spent years in our past basically transforming circuit switch networks into IP. Once you put an IP switching core into these networks, you can very quickly add applications onto that. So for the last few years, we've been helping a lot of wireline service providers deliver things like SIP trunking and unified communications and hosted business services to both consumers and small medium enterprises. About a year ago, we focused a lot more on the mobile operators world. And I think for a lot of wireline customers or wireline service providers, they thought, well, it's great for mobile, right? Because people are cutting the cord and moving over, everything's rosy in the mobile operator's garden. But the reality couldn't be further from the truth, because these mobile operators are, as we've just discussed, under threat from handsets and applications that are being baked into the handset. So for the last year, we've actually been working on technology which we've launched at the show this week called Accession. And Accession is an immersive multimedia telephony solution. What it allows you to do is it allows you to freely move a conversation or session between preferred end devices, take advantage of local network connectivity and handset capabilities, and allow participants in a call to instantly share content that is relevant to their actions, their needs, or their surroundings. So what this effectively does is it's technology that can be put in a mobile operator's network and allow them to deliver this very rich communications experience today, but on top of existing phones, very importantly on top of existing phone numbers, and of course that integrates fully with their established billing infrastructure.
Yes, I mean, when you talk about content, what are we talking about specifically? Give me a few examples.
Yeah, so content sharing I think is fascinating because about a year ago we started exploring with content sharing, and we created an environment in which people on smartphones could share content when they were talking to each other, provided they had downloaded this client for our technology. And I think you start off by thinking, well, this is quite obvious. I can share photographs. Can share my location. I can hit a single button and share a contact. And I think that's powerful, and that's pretty compelling as it is. But over the last year, we've created more than 30 content sharing capabilities that can include things like, let me share my Flickr photo stream. Let me share my latest tweets. Not only can I share my location with you, but we can use web APIs to find a place that is equidistant from both of us, where we can meet by category, restaurant, coffee shops, or whatever. We can have some fun with it as well. We can do a virtual coin toss. We can play tic-tac-toe. We can share weather. One of my favorites that I really want my guys to work on is mood music. So I'm calling the wife. I can play some Barry White in the background. There's lots you can do to really enhance that conversation. I think where we're taking it now is of particular interest for businesses, because what I just described was sharing content in a kind of a consumer-to-consumer environment. And what we've been working on is now available as well as part of our Accession portfolio is the ability for wireline business endpoints to also share content with smartphone callers when they call their business. So if I was talking to a florist, I could see the kind of flowers that I might be able to purchase, and even show from a list which flower bouquet I would like to purchase. I can get coupons pushed to me. I can share locations for pizza delivery. I can do payment across PayPal. I can do self-help when I call into call centers. So there's really a whole bunch of opportunity for rich communications when we use our smartphones or our tablets to speak to businesses over and above some of the fun elements of sharing content when you're going consumer to consumer.
Steve, it sounds fascinating, and I know you've been very busy with lots of people looking at this, but the important question is, on the football front, how many of you managed to keep up?
Well, I think most people who know me would probably say I'm probably the most gifted midfield player of my generation, but when it comes to keeping up, I'm absolutely terrible.
Well, so was I, but thanks for speaking to us.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one. Thanks, Brian.